Take two questions here.
Yes, sir.
It's a bit of a question and a comment. You brought up the United States Supreme Court and how, the quote-unquote liberals never cross over the conservative line, although they do sometimes, but it rarely happens. But I guess my question is when it happens,
That's right. Landro, if they don't need the votes. And I just think that, that was not that was 7-2, right?
no, it was a 5-4 decision.
Wait, it was 5-4? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting it confused
No,
with
it
another one.
absolutely would have made a difference. And,
Okay.
the liberal Democrats were all praising Sotomayor before it, and our Democrat chair here, Raymond Buckley, that thinks it's the biggest decision since the Reformation of slavery, didn't even bring it up as Sotomayor voted the quote unquote wrong way.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I like John Sununu a lot, but you're reminding me now that one of John Sununu's proteges. You know where I'm going with this one.
Yeah, with
Souter.
Justice Souter. Trust me, it was kind of the cornerstone of my campaign.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. By supporting the Syrian rebels, the so-called rebels, isn't our government essentially aiding the same people that were fighting in other countries as terrorists and enemies of the United States? And if this isn't a case of treason, what is?
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, the first time I started thinking about the need to cleanse the Republican Party was when I saw Boehner and Cantor coming out of the White House and saying they were going to support the president's plan to go after the Alawites. I don't know if you saw this yesterday. Our friends, our allies, just wiped out several Alawite villages in northern Syria. Alawites, that's the minority sect that Assad belongs to. Now, why isn't that getting to play? Just because they didn't use gas, that the people aren't any less dead than the people who were gassed by Assad. I don't understand why. I'm with Sarah Palin on that one. Let Allah sort it out.
Maybe one more in the back there.
Yes.
I'm just going to pick your brain a little bit. I belong to a grassroots neighborhood group that is trying to do something to make a difference. And we've been we protested in front of the Dean's office and Custis. We're writing letters to the editor. But it doesn't seem like enough. What do you think a small grassroots movement can do that might be more effective?
I think you just got to.
Howie show.
Yeah, try to get them to listen to my show. That's job one. But I just say keep talking to your neighbors and just keep explaining it to them, and don't explain it to them in terms of politics or ideology. Just tell them how much do you think Obamacare is going to cost you? Have you checked out your insurance bill? Have you, do you know what the governor wants to do? The governor, obviously, whatever she's saying, they want to put a sales tax in. You got just try to make them think. We always said that there's a big election going on for mayor of Boston, and nobody's interested in it right now. And they've asked me and a couple other people who remember the last big hotly contested election, which was a long time ago, I hate to say. And they say, what's the difference? And I tell them, the difference is, when the last time they had a hotly contested election, they were shutting down firehouses. They were shutting down police stations. And when people feel threatened, directly threatened, their safety, their livelihood, then they will get into politics. Then they'll turn off the Patriots or the Red Sox, and that's what you got to do. Everything has to be put in bread and butter issues, and that's the and I think that's that's why Obama, I think, is so into expanding the food stamp and the disability population. I mean, he wants to get people. Welfare is a narcotic. you know? And people, you know people that haven't worked for 4 or 5 years, I mean, they just become unable to work, and they're hooked. And that's what you gotta, I don't know what to tell you specifically, just talk to people about how much this disaster is costing them in Washington.
Also, what I find is, simple thing, went to my hairdresser, have a button on, remember Ben Benghazi, and she says to me, who's Benghazi?
Tell her it's Kim Kardashian's best friend.
People don't know what's going on.
I know.
So I'm trying to think now, maybe you got to educate people, all they have to do, but they asked who Mr. Benghazi was, and I'm not sure.
I can't tell, like I said, it's the craziest thing. We have, the world of information is literally at our fingertips, and people are more dumbed down than they've ever been. It's just it's a real paradox, and I don't know. You know, they say newspapers have to monetize the internet. Somebody's got to figure out a way to teach people how to use the internet so that they become smarter instead of stupider. Thanks. Okay. Okay, gotta go? Yes.
People should call their local conservative radio talk shows and educate the listener. I don't consider you local. It's too hard to get through to you. Our local radio talk shows, call and educate people. I've got a card for a show here.
90.7 FM.
I consider myself local. I'm glad to be here today. Thank you very much. I'll be showing my book in a little while out there. Before I move on to the gas station, the fireworks store, the supermarket. See you later. Thank you.
Crop TV.